Let's take a journey into the dark and divine. Encounter demons of every shape and size, from the classic horrors of folklore to modern fiction's original, terrifying creations. Witness the monsters born of cultural mythology, from the ghastly ghouls of Eastern tradition to the bloodthirsty beasts of Western legend. The beauties and horrors of legends, those that live within us. Welcome to Myth and Lores, a journey into the dark and divine. Without further ado, let's jump into another lore. The succubus is a well-known figure in folklore, mythology, and later occult traditions. She is often depicted as a female demon or supernatural being who seduces men, particularly in their sleep, to engage in sexual intercourse. This figure has a rich and complex lore, and her symbolism has evolved, reflecting cultural, religious, and social shifts. Let's break down the lore and key symbolic elements associated with succubi. Origins and lore. As a distinct figure, the succubus appears most prominently in medieval European folklore and Christian demonology. In these traditions, a succubus is believed to be a demon that takes on a female form to seduce men, often during the night while they sleep. This act of seduction was thought to drain the man's life force or energy, sometimes even leading to death. The succubus is often paired with the incubus, a male demon who similarly seduces women. Together, these figures were believed to represent a form of spiritual and physical contamination. While the incubus would violate women, the succubus would do the same to men. This relationship played into a broader view of demons as entities capable of controlling and corrupting human sexuality. The concept of succubi also has roots in common sleep disorders of the time, particularly sleep paralysis. In medieval Europe, people who had sleep paralysis often reported sensations of being visited by demonic entities during the night, sometimes involving sexual assault. This experience likely contributed to the formation of the succubus myth. In demonological texts, the succubus is often associated with temptation, lust, and the violation of sacredness. She was considered one of the more insidious types of demons because of her ability to infiltrate the dreams and desires of men, often using sex as a weapon. The Lesser Key of Solomon, a famous grimoire, mentions demons like Lilith, often considered a precursor of the succubus, and Lilith, a figure in Jewish mythology who later became a major influence on the succubus archetype. In some traditions, Lilith herself is regarded as the first succubus. As the Renaissance and Romantic periods emerged, the succubus figure became more sexualized and romanticized. She was often portrayed as an alluring but dangerous femme fatale, representing forbidden desires or a symbol of the darkest side of human sexuality. Symbolism of the succubus. Sexual power and temptation. The succubus embodies the dangerous allure of sexual temptation. She represents an extreme form of seduction that goes beyond mutual consent, where the act of sex is coercive, draining, and ultimately destructive. The succubus is often seen as a warning about the perils of unchecked lust and desire. Dangerous feminine power. The succubus symbolizes a kind of female power that is feared and demonized, particularly in patriarchal societies. Her sexual power is often seen as threatening to the established order, where women are expected to be passive or submissive in sexual matters. The succubus, by contrast, actively pursues her victims and takes control, subverting traditional gender roles. The femme fatale archetype. The succubus is an early manifestation of the femme fatale, a reoccurring character in Western literature and film. She is a seductive woman who leads men to their doom. This archetype plays on the fear and fascination surrounding female sexuality, where her sexual prowess is seen as both a weapon and a curse. Energy vampirism. In some interpretations, the succubus is viewed not just as a sexual entity, but an energy vampire. She is believed to drain a man's life force, spiritual energy, or vitality. This could be understood metaphorically as representing the draining nature of excessive or unbalanced sexual desire, where an obsession with pleasure can consume one's energy and life. Dangerous desires and moral corruption. The succubus also serves as a symbol of the dangers of moral corruption and unrestrained passion. In religious contexts, succubi are often depicted as agents of Satan, tempting men away from the righteous path by appealing to their lower instincts. In this view, succubi are tools for leading individuals into sin and away from spiritual salvation. Repression and rebellion. In more modern interpretations, the succubus can symbolize rebellion against societal repression, particularly about sexual autonomy and freedom. As figures who take control of their sexual agency and power, succubi can be read as representations of breaking free from societal constraints and embracing one's desires. Variations across cultures. Lilith. In Jewish folklore, Lilith is often considered the first woman created before Eve, who rejected Adam and left him. She became associated with the succubus figure as she was said to seduce men and bear demon offspring. Lilith represents independence and danger, embodying the fear of a woman who does not submit. Incubus versus succubus. While the succubus is the female counterpart to the male incubus, the two are not always opposites. Unlike the incubus, the succubus is often seen as more predatory, actively seeking out men rather than waiting to attack them. In some traditions, the succubus is viewed as even more dangerous due to its potential to cause death or serious harm by draining life force. Succubus in modern media. In contemporary culture, the succubus has been reinvented in various forms, from horror movies and fantasy novels to video games and graphic novels. She is sometimes portrayed as a villain, but also as an anti-hero or even a misunderstood character. The depiction of the succubi in modern media tends to be more sexually charged, reflecting changing attitudes towards sex, power, and identity. The succubus is a powerful and multifaceted symbol, representing the intersection of sexual power, temptation, and the fear of moral corruption. She has evolved from a demon who drains life force to a symbol of sexual autonomy, power, and rebellion against societal norms. Her lore and symbolism reflect deep-seated cultural anxieties about gender, sexuality, and the human psyche. The succubus remains a compelling figure in historical and contemporary storytelling, whether as a villainous temptress or a complex anti-hero. That concludes this lore. If you like what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next lore. Bye.